Hey Cancer, how's it going? Do you know the answer to the question, when is a gift not a gift? It's a sinister remark from a quote. It's a quote from a book, now a popular movie called Dune. I don't know if you're into science fiction like I am, but that's what I got in my meditation. Well, the first thing I saw was a pillar of something turning to ash from the top to the bottom. It looked like a cigarette. And then I heard, imagine like someone drawing on a cigarette and it like turns to ash. And it's just this column of ash that was coming down. And I heard the phrase, when is a cigarette not a cigarette? And that was just so bizarre. I have no idea what that question is. When is a cigarette not a cigarette? But at the same time that I heard the word cigarette, I heard another person say gift. So when is a cigarette not a cigarette was in line with when is a gift not a gift. They were kind of said at the exact same time. And now I know I'm recording this just before Christmas and Hanukkah, so I'm not trying to make you paranoid about the gifts that people are giving you. This doesn't feel quite like that, although maybe it is for some of you. I hope not. But, you could be watching this at any time. But it was a really interesting thing. The pillar was probably about like this fat around, but it did look like just a big old cigarette. It looked like white paper and just turning to ash. I don't know if it was paper, but it was a white pillar, like chalk maybe. I have no idea. But when is a gift not a gift is in reference to a political conspiracy from a fictional novel where someone was given a great deal of authority over a location, and it seemed like a gift. It seemed like, oh, you get to rule this place. But in fact, it put that person in a great deal of danger, which led to the destruction of his entire family. And so something that seemed like a gift was actually an incredibly dangerous situation. And this is interesting because after the meditation, I pulled an I Ching hexagram for you. So again, like, if this isn't resonating, don't make this fit into your life. If this is not your reading, this might not be for everyone, because this is an interesting one. So the hexagram I got was hexagram number 5, or Zu, kneading, with a changing line. The second line here changes to hexagram 63, already fulfilled. So kneading, another translation for this is calculated inaction. So the idea is that there's danger ahead and you can't continue. You have to wait and bide your time and wait for the danger to pass. And while you bide your time, you cultivate your faith, you cultivate your strength, you nourish yourself. We have a symbol of cloud over heaven, or rain and heaven. We have heaven and strength, heaven which represents strength, confronting water which represents danger. And your changing line is down there in the bottom in the trigram. Those 3 lines represent heaven, strength, and you're right there in the middle. So we have you confronting this danger from a point of strength. This danger is very, very mild. It's more along the lines of gossip. It's not real danger. It's just inconvenience that will pass, maybe social inconvenience or workplace inconvenience, or something that's equivalent to gossip in terms of the level of actual danger in your life. It's not that dangerous. It's just like this annoyance that but you are in this position where it's totally safe and good for you to wait and bide your time. Like being at that second line there, that's like you're in the midst of this situation, but you can wait. It's like, imagine you need to cross a river. There's something you gotta do, right? But you have to wait for the water to get lower. Maybe there was just a flood recently or a big rainstorm the day before or something like that, and the river is just rushing and high, and it would be very, very dangerous to cross the river right now. But you can just hang back and wait for the water level to get lower. And then you'll have success if you just time it properly. Just hang back. Like, right now is not the time to move forward with something. You're either waiting for a danger to pass, or there's another interpretation where you're waiting to get something that you need. So the other interpretation of cloud over heaven is that you're waiting for it to rain, to nourish your crops. So there's a less dangerous interpretation of this sign, where you're just waiting for a resource to come in that you don't have yet. And in the meantime, you can cultivate your other skills or the other things that you can do to push this project forward, or whatever it is you're doing. Your plans can move forward, but not totally. You can't like take the next step. You can prepare to take the next step, though. It doesn't mean, waiting doesn't mean doing nothing. This is calculated inaction. So just gathering your forces and thinking things through, meditating, relaxing, taking some well-deserved rest, nourishing yourself. Like cloud over heaven is also a symbol of the Tao of eating and drinking. And that's just how to properly regulate your energy levels, how to chill out properly, how to spend time with people around you. Meal times are very important for building connections with people. And so there's this idea of community, of the Tao of eating and drinking, and creating like a harmonious atmosphere through nourishing yourself, like literally with food, and also nourishing your relationships around you, nourishing whatever you can that will make the next step forward really successful. Because right now you're just waiting to take that next step, because you're missing a resource, or you're waiting for something to happen, you're waiting for something to pass, you just gotta wait for something. The timing's not right. And that's, it's not a real like issue, because this sign, as crazy as all this is that I'm saying, this sign is actually very, very auspicious. It's one of the 8 most auspicious hexagrams you can get. It's this idea that, like, you just time it right, you wait for this nonsense to pass, or you wait for this resource to come in, and then boom, you take the step and it's successful. So it's just a matter of like, just don't jump the gun right now. Just don't rush it, and it's gonna work out. So I'm gonna pull some cards for you, and we're gonna develop this further. So here I got these 24 symbols. I'll spin a coin. It'll point at one. These are symbols that represent all these different aspects of reality, archetypes maybe, if you want to call them that, aspects of life. I don't know. But the oracle will have my coin land on one of these, and we'll pull some cards about it. That's the aspect of your life that we'll focus on. So what does Cancer need to know? What are we looking at here? The symbol for fire. The alchemical symbol for fire. An upright triangle. Now this can represent spiritual transformation. It can simply represent material fire. It can represent all the fiery things that you may have heard about. Fast-moving action, energy, spiritual insight, clarity of thought. It can, coming out with this hexagram here, it could mean like just waiting for the weather to get better and you need to just keep warm. It could be something as simple as that. Or it could be that there's maybe like a type of drought that you're waiting to pass. The fire maybe chased away the clouds and the rain, the heat, and you're waiting for the rains to come, literally or metaphorically. Fire can represent many, many things. So what does Cancer need to know about the fire aspect in relation to needing, calculated inaction? Fire. What does Cancer need to know? Well, we got the 4 of Swords, and these 2 other cards came out with it. We got the 6 of Swords, And we got the Ten of Swords. It really wants to look in reverse. I normally don't do reversals, but for some reason I felt like I had to just pick this one up in the way it landed. Don't know why. I normally don't care to read reversals because it's all just symbolism to me. But very swordy energy. A lot of air. Now, the Ten of Swords, isn't that interesting? Now, this deck of cards sometimes has these little phrases and words down here, and this one says rain. I've been talking a lot about rain. This is a symbol of rain and waiting for rain. So in reverse, it could mean like, yeah, there's some sort of drought, there's some sort of nourishment that you don't have, some sort of resource that you need that you do not yet have, and you're waiting. This is a card of meditation and repose and rest from strife is what this deck likes to call it, because you're going to cross that river. This is perfectly in line with what I'm saying. You're waiting for the river to become calmer so you can earn the success that you have earned. This says earned success here at the bottom of this deck, of this card. So yeah, this is just seriously in line. You're just waiting for a resource to come through and for a small danger to pass so that you can move on. And like this coming out in reverse, it's like, yeah, it's not there yet, but it's about to be there. You know, 10 is the end of a cycle. Your resource is on its way, and you're just, you know, this Four of Swords is, it's a really nice card. It's one of my favorite cards, in fact, and it's just like, yeah, you know, only an honored person is interred in a tomb or a crypt like this. So it means that like you have support from the people around you. You're a respected person, and like you're not being left out in the cold in this waiting. You're just where you need to be. You're right where you ought to be, and it's fine, and there's no need to stress about it because the water will calm down and recede, and you can safely and easily cross it very soon once you get that thing that you're waiting for. This didn't really develop the reading, this just kind of clarified it. I'm going to pull another card for you. And like, yeah, this coming out with the fire element is maybe telling me that you might be a little bit impatient about this. You just have to have patience. This, you know, Hexagram 5 is like, patience is not only recommended, it's absolutely demanded at this time. Without patience, you will make a misstep. Because things are guaranteed to work if you cultivate patience at this time. You have to have faith in the plans you laid, have faith in yourself that you laid good plans, because you earned the success. And this waiting is an honorable type of waiting. It's not like a Four of Cups type of waiting where you're missing an opportunity. No. The opportunity, you won't miss it. It's there. You got it. You just gotta wait a sec. Fire element. Needing. 10 of Swords in reverse, 6 of Swords, 4 of Swords. What else does Cancer need to know to help clarify this fire element? It's this one. Submission. Here we have the card. Submission. And of course it's a boat crossing a river. It's a picture of a boat crossing a river. Jeez Louise. I've never had such a coherent stream of consciousness during a reading. How interesting. And here we've got several buildings off on the opposite shore. One of those buildings looks a little dilapidated and the other one looks like it's in good repair. Yeah, and the waters look safe to cross. It's an empty boat. Maybe you're looking at, maybe you think you missed the boat or missed the train. You know, again with this fire element, it's like that sense of impatience. But there's another boat docked right up ahead, So it's like, you didn't miss the boat or miss the train. There's a new boat every few minutes. Like, relax, you'll catch the next boat. Like, when it's more opportune and correct for you. So like, obsequium or obsequiousness is like a submissive attitude, right? That's what it says in Latin. That's the sort of Latin word for submission. Although submission technically is also a Latin word. These kind of are two different words. It's interesting that the creator of this deck did that. So like obsequiousness is more like having an accepting attitude about your own submission. It's that sort of Islamic type of submission, Islamic submission to the will of God, right? That submission to a situation that you probably couldn't or shouldn't change. It's like perfectly fine the way it is, and you just have to be okay with it. So I think, there just might be a bit of friction going on in your mind or in your feelings where you don't want to wait. But it's my recommendation that you really should. But of course, follow your heart if this isn't resonating. If your opportune moment is like now or tomorrow or something, like, go for it. If you've truly reflected on it, just make sure you're taking the next few hours or the next day to really reflect on it. Maybe that's the type of waiting, is to submit to what is happening and really make sure that your actions are appropriate and not brash or rushed. But for most of you, I think a little patience will go a long way. This is like the reading of, it's like the epitome of good things come to those who wait. I know that's hard for a lot of people to hear, but oftentimes it is true. I'm gonna pull one last token for you. Pull this all together. What does Cancer need to know? The fire element. 10 of Swords in reverse, 6 of Swords, 4 of Swords, submission, needing, calculated waiting. What does Cancer need to know? It's this one. What is this? Huh, look at that. We have the alchemical symbol of fire. You can't make this shit up. Okay. Huh. Well. And here we also have the Sanskrit syllable for she. I don't know if that is significant for you in any way. And this is the I Ching trigram for fire. So we have the element of fire coming out to help me clarify the element of fire. Thanks, Oracle. Very, very helpful. So I think there's a bit of spiritual wisdom that's going to come to you and help you get through this. I don't think this is just being like, oh, you're just impatient and hot-headed. I think this is bringing it to the next level, because when I see the Sanskrit she, I'm thinking mantra chanting, I'm thinking heightened awareness, I'm thinking Raja Yoga, I'm thinking Kriya Yoga, I'm thinking Kundalini awakening. I'm thinking that there's like some awakening sense within you that's going to blossom forth, and this waiting is going to be like, a real like meditative experience. It's going to be very nourishing. It's, maybe your thoughts and feelings will finally submit to your higher self, and your lower nature will submit to your higher nature, and you will have like just that tongue of flame above your head that is just that spiritual power helping you subdue your lower nature and be aware of yourself. Fire is the awareness of consciousness, that light of awareness, and being totally self-remembering and self-aware, which that might be the resource that you're waiting for, is just that spiritual power that you'll awaken within yourself. And that, or the spiritual rain, sometimes the rain from above is symbolic of, that sort of spiritual nourishment from heaven to the earth, Yeah, I don't want to overinterpret this. I think that's where I want to keep this reading. I trust that you got something that will help you reflect. I think that's all I've got, all the Oracle and I have for you today, Cancer. Thank you so much for stopping by. I always appreciate when you hang out with me. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you next time.